Liverpool have just been knocked out of the Europa League by Atalanta. 66-year-old Gasperini has just schooled Jurgen Klopp. Genuinely, I did not see that one coming. Make sure you go down. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you're enjoying the content. And make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We're getting very, very close to 4,000 subs. Liverpool did win 1-0 away to Atalanta. And Liverpool went back to a little bit of basics to a degree in terms of their team selection, in terms of the way they played. It was kind of a false nine with Gakpo. Didn't really agree with that. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Gakpo's best performances in the Liverpool shirt have been when he's played on the left-hand side. Mohamed Salah, I can't help but think it's another game. It's another game where Liverpool just didn't create enough. You can't, for me, not enough urgency from Liverpool. 71% possession against an Atalanta team, which we know they're not a defensive team, Atalanta. They're a very attacking, one-touch pass and move, counter-attacking at times, fast-paced team. They've got some good players. Edison, their midfielder, is a relatively good player. Scamacca, who we know from the Premier League. Zappacosta, who we know from the Premier League. Kolasinac as well. They've got some very, very experienced players. Adamana Lukman as well. He was in the Premier League once with Leicester. They've got some good players. But Liverpool should never be losing home and away to Atalanta. Should never be losing 3-0 at home to Atalanta. They started the game well. They scored a penalty early on, Mohamed Salah, in the 7th minute. And I'm pretty sure everyone thought Liverpool were going to do it. Everyone thought that they would go and they would kick on, get another couple of goals, and potentially go forward throughout the remainder of the Europa League competition and probably win it. When you look at European teams, they've surprised a lot of us this season. Manchester City, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Man United all out the Champions League. Arsenal and City went out last night. English Europa League teams, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Brighton all out. The Conference League is where Aston Villa are the only team left in a European competition. Genuinely, that's insane. And they had to win it from a Martinez masterclass on penalty shootouts. Maybe the Premier League this season in Europe it's not maybe. It's just not at the level. In terms of Liverpool, though, for me, that's the shock of the round. I thought they were strong favourites to go and win the competition. But we need to speak on Jurgen Klopp because genuinely, you can't go through 8 years in the Premier League, 7 or 8 years, and only have won one Premier League trophy. He, for me, cannot be considered one of the best managers the Premier League has ever seen. When you're leaving the Premier League with the same amount of Premier League trophies as Mancini, as Pellegrini, as Ranieri, as Kenny Dalglish, you cannot be considered, in terms of Premier League aura, one of the best we've ever seen. Yes, you've taken Guardiola to the very, 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 very end. But to go out to Atalanta in the Europa League, and let's be honest, the Europa League hasn't really been Jurgen Klopp's bread and butter. He's had his better results in the Champions League. And I've given Jurgen Klopp a lot of praise, but you won one Champions League and one Premier League. And look, the Champions League is the best thing you can win, and it's fantastic. It's the hardest trophy you can win. But I know Liverpool fans are going to come in and say, with excuse after excuse. But Jurgen Klopp, for me, is not in the same bracket as Arsene Wenger. He's not in the same bracket as Jose Mourinho. He's not in the same bracket as I'm going to be honest, Guardiola, Ferguson, Wenger, Jose. He's won the same amount of Premier League trophies as Ancelotti. For me, it's a very, very interesting debate. I look at it and just think, has Erik ten Hag broken? Has he broken Jurgen Klopp? Liverpool have not been the same since those Manchester United games. Since when they got knocked out of the FA Cup, which was on the 17th of March, they've beaten Sheffield United, which took them 2 late goals. They've drawn with Manchester United. They've lost to Crystal Palace. They've lost to Atalanta. And they have beaten Brighton, which they weren't anywhere near the level. They've wasted chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. They are desperately crying out for new forwards. I don't think Cody Gakpo's been a great signing. I don't think Ryan Gravenberch has been a great signing. And when Jurgen Klopp leaves, they have got a big, big, big hole to fill. Whether it's going to be Almiron from Portugal, who knows? But right now, it's like you can't go out to Atalanta, man. Like genuinely, like what on earth? 3-0 at at your home ground to a team that's 8 points off of fourth place. They're currently sixth. They could quite easily be ninth by the weekend. And they've gone to one of the most feared stadiums in world football, Anfield. Liverpool have to bounce back now. They have to go again, and we're going to see what Liverpool are made of. They have got to go again now, you know, at the Premier League at the weekend against a tough Fulham side that are actually on relatively good form right now. Beat West Ham in their last game. Had a very, very good performance against Newcastle. Have beaten Spurs recently, have beaten Brighton recently, have beaten Manchester United recently. Liverpool have now got to go and compete once again. And I'm going to say, if they do not beat Fulham, I think their title race is over. They've now got 3 away days on the bounce. 3 away days on the bounce. Fulham, right? Everton and West Ham. Everton are fighting for their lives. West Ham are fighting for a European place. And Fulham is not an easy game. And they're not in good form in the Premier League. They're not. Like, they've drawn against Man United. They lost to Palace. Sheffield and Brighton, you can say what you want. But before that, they drew to Man City. They narrowly beat Forest. It's been coming for a while. Are the players fatigued? Potentially. Is it down to Jurgen Klopp's game management? Like, I don't know. I can't. I look at it right now. I think Liverpool genuinely could be out of the title race this weekend. It's absolutely it's insane to go out to Atalanta, who I don't think have ever won a trophy in their history, and I've got a 66-year-old Gasparini, the old silver fox, who has just delivered probably their biggest win in their club's history. And now Liverpool, I look at their remaining games, Everton, Merseyside derby, West Ham away fighting for Europe, Villa away, Spurs at home, Wolves, like all those teams are fighting for something. It's going to be a very, 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 very difficult, very, very, very difficult time for Liverpool in the next few months. They're potentially going to they're going to be losing potentially Mohamed Salah. Like Diaz, to me, doesn't contribute enough on the left-hand side. Neither does Gakpo. They're crying out, absolutely crying out for another goal scorer in that team. You look at Manchester City, and when Haaland doesn't step up, they've got Foden. They've got Kevin De Bruyne. Before that, they had Mahrez, Sterling. Liverpool have relied on Mohamed Salah for so long. When he leaves now, that's such a big hole to fill. And I just don't know how they're going to get on. Only time will tell. But if they lose on Sunday against Fulham, for me, that is it. Game over. See you later. Bonsoir. You're out. 3 strikes. I just can't see in a world where Liverpool win this league title. We were talking about doing a quad only last month. Since then, they've been knocked out by Manchester United, their arch rivals, and they've probably had one of their biggest, heaviest defeats on aggregate in Europe in a long, long, long time. And I'm going to be honest, it's Man City or Arsenal now. Obviously, City will be favourites. Arsenal played twice just before Manchester City play, and it's going to be a very, 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 very tough few days for Liverpool now. They've got 3 away games on the trot, and Jurgen Klopp's got to pick them up and go again. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching.